Hello, Habari, Mambo VP, Salama. This is, and right now it's empty here. So hopefully it won't be like the last live I tried to do. It was so loud and noisy. I am sitting outside today, so it might be better today, but shalom, welcome, karibu, karibu sana. Welcome to my channel. My name is Wanda. This is Diaspora Connect. And I decided to come to you this morning. And I actually wrote down some things that I wanted to discuss with you today. I wrote down a few things. So I'm going to touch on some of the pros and cons of living in Tanzania on the continent of Africa. 1 second. Wow, I was thirsty. Had to get my water taken. So this is Sunday morning here in Africa, and I am at a local cafe today, and I just decided to do a live and talk about some of the pros and cons of living in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. I would say the pros and cons compared to living in America. So that's kind of where my perspective is coming from. You know, all of us, but for me, there are more pros than cons, especially coming from the West. Kind of negative comments. Well, not a lot, but just a few people saying stuff about Africa or saying things about Dar es Salaam or anywhere on the continent. Let me just tell you something about my channel. My channel is pro Africa. So I don't know if you want to call me a Pan-Africanist, but maybe. But I am a Israelite, a Hebrew Israelite. I am a Bantu, born and raised in America, but I have awakened to who I truly was created to be. And the uncreated creator, the almighty Yah, and some people call him God, and that's okay. I don't argue about names, you know, has shown me that my true home is the continent of Africa. Not sure where. I just know that I'm not, my home is not the Middle East, okay, which is Northeast Africa, where the people that say they are the children of the Most High but are not, where they live in the Middle East. That's not my home. And this is just my personal opinion. So anyway, I'm about to get off the topic. The pros and cons of living in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Let's see. Okay. The pros and cons of living in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. The pros. For every one USD, the T shillings here in Dar es Salaam is 2,310 T shillings. Now, the currency exchange goes up and down, but it's mainly around 2,000 T shillings per every one USD. So right there, that's an advantage of living here versus living in the US. You don't need as much money to survive here. You do need some money. You do need some streams of income, whether it's savings, and even with savings, you still have to set up or plan to have some form of streams of income, whether it's online. And that's mainly what we do coming here from America. We have online jobs and gigs and online work, online businesses, stuff like that. So just some form of income. If you have someone at home that sends you money, a child, a parent, a cousin, a uncle, and they can send you money every month, like $100, $50 a month, you can survive here actually. The most you're going to pay for is your flight and your rental. Your rental is going to be between 3 to 6 months, sometimes a year, is between you and the landlord. Some of them let you do month to month. I haven't really known a lot, but you can find that if you look around, but mainly 3 to 6 months. So that's the bulk of your money. So that is a pro. the currency exchange. Another pro of living here, it's much safer here, living here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, than in America. Comparing it, I was born and raised in America, so I know. I've been living in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania for 1 year and 3 weeks now. I have been here long enough to see that it's much safer here. So please, if you have never been to the continent of Africa, please don't come here putting comments in my video talking about this country or talking about the continent if you have not visited. And every country is different. There are 54 countries on the continent of Africa. There is a place for everyone here. So if you don't like, I have done videos about this. If you don't like the rules and regulations in specific countries, or if you don't like their policies and procedures, then there are so many different countries that you can go to. So it's not necessary, in my opinion, to bash countries. Yes, it's important to tell your truth. Yes. But at the end of the day, you don't want to come over here as a visitor and visit any of these countries, because we're still visitors, even though even though we originated from the continent of Africa, because and we were stolen away. And this is how all of us got dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth. All the melanated people, the Hebrews, the Bantus, the Africans, a lot of us were dispersed throughout the four corners of the earth. And so we're in European countries. That's the way we get to European countries. We don't originate in European countries. And I have to keep saying this. You would think it's common sense, but it's not, because I have people saying that they don't think that America is a European country. America is a European country. At the end of the day, look at the history. Do your homework. Whether they took it over or not, that's beside the point. We didn't originate there. It may have been Aborigines in America or Indians in America before Mzungu came, but we didn't originate from America. It was the New World. We didn't originate from there. Okay, so okay, we have that clear. So now another pro with living here, the safety is very safe here. I've been here long enough to see, and then walk around and move around. I move by myself. I know enough Swahili to live by myself, to move to live in areas alone. I do, as out from the cities, I like to be close to grocery stores and fruit stands, and I just don't want to be out far in the middle of nowhere and I can't get a ride, and then things happen and I'll be kind of stuck by myself. So no, I don't live out in those areas, but those areas are very beautiful. And if you have a family, it's fine for you to be out there. You just have to have like a personal driver, or maybe 2 or 3 personal drivers in case one is not available that can come and get you, because a lot of Ubers and don't go far out. A lot of the drivers won't pick you up. Another pro is transportation is very cheap here. So it would be cheaper or more effective or more efficient for you to use transportation versus buying a car. Now, if you live out and you have a hard time getting a ride around the city, it's best to buy a car, because that'll probably save you money, because the drivers it's hard to get them and then you spend a lot. But for me, I live locally. I don't live far from, I can walk actually to the grocery store, fruit stands. And that was my purpose in looking for a place. I wanted to be able to walk and not have to spend money on transportation every day. You can look for places, homes, apartments in those type of areas. And so I'm not in the city like in Masaki, which is one of the richest areas in Dar es Salaam. I am in Mbezi Beach area. So it's a local area, but they have the shoppers, grocery stores, and things for a lot of diaspora live in this area. So it's a good area. Another pro. So we said the money, the currency exchange, we said the safety, and another pro is doing business here. Some people struggle with trying to figure out how to do business here as foreigners. It's not that difficult, but if you come over here with a mindset like you're doing business in the West, it's different. The whole process is different. So you want to kind of throw out everything you know about business from the West and then come here with like a clean slate. And I would advise you to meet with a a Tanzanian who has registered some businesses and or an attorney that has that can advise you based on your financial situation and what works best for you. So I would recommend you do that before you decide to before you come here and try to figure out what you need to do in business. As a foreigner, it's not a good idea to try to figure things out on your own because you may not have it together. Okay, so consult with a Tanzanian, and I recommend the one that has registered a foreign company and a Tanzanian company, and they can compare. They can tell you the pros and cons of both based on your financial situation. I'm sorry, there's flies flying around. Based on your financial situation, they can advise you accordingly. I wouldn't recommend you take advice from a diaspora. For me, I have Diaspora Connect. This is my business that I created. It is a Tanzanian business in that they have more shares than me. They have 51%. I have 49. So it is a Tanzanian business. They just have to have one share more than you for it to be considered a Tanzanian business. So everything is Tanzanian under my business. I am the CEO and I do control operations, but I have 2 Tanzanian partners, and they do all the business runs and all the office administrative, banking, all that. They handle all that because this is their country. So they set everything up and kind of introduce me to everybody. So that's kind of how it should work. Now, if you come here as a foreigner trying to do it on your own, you're going to spend a lot of money, a lot of wheels turning, longer processes, and then this is to partner with the Tanzanian, and that holds true every day, and I'm seeing that myself in doing business here. So I would advise that. Another pro is buying land. Of course, once you get the business registered, you can actually purchase land under your business. It's not that difficult. When you go to other countries like the Gambia or Ghana or South Africa or Kenya and you purchase land, you still have to spend money. Nothing is free. Even if they say they're giving you free land, you still have to pay something, whether it's taxes, it's something. You're going to pay at least $600 or something. It's not just free land. You're going to pay some money. So don't come thinking that I'll leave Tanzania and go to Ghana and then I'll get free land. Nothing is free. You're going to still have to pay something. And you can do the same thing here because land is cheap. If you create a business, a Tanzanian business, under the business, you buy land. And that means that you send the Tanzanian to find the land for you. You don't go finding land. You don't go talking to in a foreign country. You don't go talking and negotiating prices as a foreigner because you will not get a good price. I don't care how low they bring, it won't be the best price. You need to let your Tanzanian partner handle that for you. Okay? It's his business. It's their business. Let them buy the land. They can show you. Y'all can go together and see. But they go and negotiate the land. They buy it, and then they can get it at a good rate on your behalf. So there are ways to work around getting things here and getting things done without it being a hassle, frustrating, and without us coming here trying to change the government. That's not a good idea. Like I said, someone commented on one of my videos and was saying that, something about government. The thing is that people have to realize, and even locals have to realize, is that us as foreigners, we have no business involved in politics in foreign countries. We just don't. We're visitors. And even if we're doing business here, we're here to do business. We're not here to talk politics, and we're not here to be involved in it. The thing with us is if whatever happens in the country, we just keep an eye out on it. And if things seem like they're getting out of hand, then we can always leave and go to another country. That's our option that we have. But we don't come to anybody's country trying to change the government. I'm going to keep going through that because I did a video about that. Okay, so another pro is buying clothes and anything I touched on the prices, the currency exchange. Another pro is the peace, not only the safety, but the peace that you have here. I mean, you have the peace, like you don't have people following you around, accusing you of stealing from them, taking from them. You don't have Karens harassing you. Karen is Mzungu that's all in your business, nosy, always want to know what you're doing, what you're saying, what you're spending, where you live in, all your business. We don't have that here. Everybody's doing their own thing, minding their own business. We all look alike and everybody respects each other. So safety, a peace. Another pro is the weather. The weather is amazing in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Some people say it's too hot, but in Tanzania, it's humongous. It's gigantic. There are several areas that you can live in here that if you don't like the heat in Dar, you can go to Arusha, you can go to Morogoro, Mwanza, you can go to Mbeya. So there are many areas that are that you can actually go to and live in. You can, that are not as hot. So you have options. Another pro is, I really like the fact that the country is connected to 6 other countries. Tanzania is like the only country that's connected to I think it's 5 or 6 different countries like Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya, and then you have Burundi, Malawi, and then you have Zambia, and then you have you have all these countries bordering. And so just in case if things get I don't know, if you need to leave quickly, I'll say that. You can actually buy a car and drive to all these different places. It'll probably be cheaper to do it that way versus flying. Flying is very expensive because of the colonial borders and because of the Berlin Conference. You can't really directly fly to any of these countries without it being like a lot of money. So except for Kenya, I think that's the only one that you can really go to that's really one of the cheapest places from here to Kenya. So you can take a bus there, and I would say if you had a car, you could drive. Yes, it would be a long drive, but if it's more than 1 or 2 of you or 3 of you or 4 of you, you can ride together and just drive around, visit different countries in a car. So that's a pro. I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. Another pro is you have access to fresh fruit and vegetables. I am so sorry, but there are kids on the side of this wall, and they saw me doing a video, and then they started getting very loud. But that's okay. I hope you can still hear me. They're very loud right now. Every time I do a video out here, and then people start coming up, and then it seems like it starts getting loud all around me. So I do apologize. And I wanted to also stop for a second with the pros and cons, and I wanted to thank all of my faithful subscribers, and I wanted to welcome Karibu, all of my new subscribers. I want to say Mambo BP. I have a lot of new Tanzanian subscribers, and I'm very pleased and very happy. It's a great thing for me to have other subscribers besides just American subscribers. So I am very excited and happy that I have other subscribers internationally. So because the thing is that they learn a lot from us because they don't really know us, and they don't really know like what we go through, and so I'm glad that I have an audience that's different, to where they can hear from me an older, more mature point of view, and then get an idea of that we're different. All diaspora and all Black people or Africans in the West are not different. We're all different. We all have different personalities. We were all raised in different areas. Like parents think differently, so we're not all the same. So it's good that I have an audience, especially of Tanzanians, because we're at the end of the day, we're the same people. We're one. We just speak different languages. But if you look at us, you'll see that they say your features show through your DNA, and as you can see, that we look alike. So that's the same bloodline, right? Okay, so I may not be able to trace it all the way back because I lost a lot. I don't know where to begin, but I trust what a Tanzanian or any continental African would tell me about who I am versus Mzungu or DNA. Uh, if a Tanzanian say, "Oh, you look like Chaga," or "You look like Kosa in South Africa," or any other continental African, then I would just visit those particular areas or tribes or countries. I would just do that and then visit myself. As you can see behind me, you see what just came out here behind me. They so nosy. They can't help it. They just nosy. They always have to. But anyway, I'm not gonna get on them. Okay, so those were my pros. Now, my cons of living, my cons of being on the continent of Africa. Let me drink a little water. So my cons, okay, I'm gonna wait because this nosy is behind me, trying to be nosy, trying to listen. See how they do? They're just very nosy. But anyway, the cons of living on the continent. Every now and then power outages, but you do get used to it and you just adjust and you learn what you have to do um, work through it. So if you, I mean, it's not all the time for me. Maybe once a week. I don't know, and it's for a couple of hours. So I'll just come to this cafe, do computer work every day, or for a couple of hours, and then I go back and it's back on. So you just get you a little stove, like a little grill, and sit it outside. And then if the power goes out, you can still cook because that's what my neighbors do. They don't rush and come to a cafe if the power goes out. They still cook. They still function. They don't. It doesn't affect them. And so I'm watching them and I'm learning from them. And I'm like, okay, okay. So sometimes I'll stay home if the power's out, and I'll just like I have my power pack for my phone, and then I'll just either YouTube or read or rest or whatever, clean up or whatever. So another con is there are unpaved roads, which could be a con. A lot of bumpy unpaved roads, but the main roads are paved. It's just when you get off of the main roads and go in the back, in the you know uh, back areas off the main road. Some of them are unpaved, but it's workable. You take a boulder, like I do, take a motorcycle to the store. I can actually walk, but I'll take a motorcycle or a boulder because of the unpaved roads. And if you're in the car, it can really mess up the bottom of the vehicle. So many of the boulders are there to drive you around. So, and then the ride is like 1,000 T shillings, so it's really cheap, right? So, and then another con is the fact that we are foreigners here, so you do get overcharged every now and then. Once you're here long enough, like I have been, you will learn where to go, who to patronize. So there are certain fruit stands and vendors that I only shop from. So I know the ones that will charge me a fair price, and they know me, and so I just go to them. So that's when you just have to learn that. Sometimes it takes time, but you just have to learn who will give you a fair price and just stick with those people. So, um, okay, what else? Another con is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to move my flies are like trying to attack my stuff. Okay. Another con is, let me see. Um, Another con to on being on the continent of Africa was being overcharged, power outages, unpaved road, and um, I think that's it. The safety could be a con in that you just have to be aware of your surroundings. So it could be a con. You just have to make sure that where you live, you have security. So that's even in America. You need, like, if you live in certain areas, you have to have like security on your doors, and just watching your surroundings. So I guess that's a con. What else? And that's it. I mean, I don't have any other major issues. It's just an adjustment, learning to assimilate into the culture. And then you have a lot of Christians and Muslims here. So this is a modest country. You know that it's conservative. So I'm not going to say that that's a con, but for some people it could be, if they're used to or accustomed to being very like women. I think I hear more issues with women than men, as far as how they dress. So that could be a concern, because they might feel out of place or uncomfortable if they like to wear the dress like they're in the West. Yeah, that could be a con, but for me, it's not. Poa. So for me, it's not a con, because I dress pretty modest. Let's see if there are any other cons. So that's basically it. I just wanted to do this live video, and talk about the pros and cons of being on the continent of Africa. It has been a beautiful experience for me. I love Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. No, it's not perfect, but I keep telling people I have a different perspective because I'm older, more mature. And I had to keep saying that because a lot of the younger people have a different perspective and they complain about stuff. I don't complain about stuff because I know where I come from. I know how bad and horrible America is. It is horrible. They are killing Black people in the street and getting away with it. How bad? How much worse can it get? I have nothing to say about any other country. Nothing, because where I come from, they don't respect us. They don't like us. They don't want us there. They tell us all the time, go back to Africa. It is very true that as diaspora, we have no home. So that's something that we have to come to terms with, the fact that we don't have a home. There are flies, so I'm sorry I'm doing this, but we don't have a home right now. The Most High is he's gonna take care of that for the Bantu, for the Hebrew, for the Negro. We're gonna have a home someday, but right now we don't. So America's not our home. The continent, they consider us as foreigners. So we really don't have a home right now. So everywhere we go, we're going to be considered a foreigner. Even in our own America where we were born, even in the West where we're born, we're still foreigners at the end of the day. So we're treated like foreigners everywhere we go. I'm not going to be mad about that and upset. Some people, it affects them mentally. So sometimes they do have a kind of a breakdown about the fact that nobody accepts us, and it's okay. I'm old enough to be okay with people not. We haven't been accepted all our lives, so it's not that big of a deal to me. The most important thing is I accept myself. I know who I am. I know that I have a purpose. The Most High has a plan for me and many of us. So it doesn't matter what man thinks or does, or if they accept you or not. You know who you are. Like, I won't have a breakdown and fall apart because a Tanzanian may consider me as a foreigner. I won't, because I am at the end of the day, because I wasn't born here. So it's okay. Like, it's not that serious for me. What I do is you know how you can look at the glass half full or half empty. I try to look at the glass half full, and I always try to look at the positivity of it. I'll say, okay, so I wasn't born here. And yes, they do consider me as a foreigner because I have the U.S. passport. But what I can do is learn the language. I can assimilate. I can learn the cultural things and blend in. And then it won't be so obvious that I'm a foreigner. And the only time people now really realize I'm a foreigner is if I tell them or if I show them my passport, because I know a good amount of Swahili. I don't really speak it on here much. I probably should do more because I've seen some videos and a lot of people speak more Swahili. By the way, my Tanzanian Swahili speaking subscribers, habari yako? Nzima. So yeah, I do know a little Swahili, the basic food, water, greetings, hello, goodbye. So enough to function by myself. So, but yeah, that's kind of my take on the pros and cons of living here. If you have any questions, I do have a business that I started called Diaspora Connect. I have two Tanzanian partners. It's me and my son, and he is not here right now. He's 23, and I'm praying that he will come soon. He's young, he's millennial, and he has that mind, or Generation X, one of them. He has the mindset that he thinks, Mom, he says to me, Mom, we can't leave everybody. We just can't leave everybody. We can't just run and leave. And if I'm going to die, I'm going to die for something. He has that like thinking. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I'm telling him, I'm like, we've been fighting since the 60s for freedom. We've been marching, fighting, picketing. We've been doing all that. And look at us today. Nothing has changed. We're still getting hung from trees and lynched and killed and burned. We're still getting done the same way. The only difference is we're showing it to the world. The world never knew, but now we're showing that they're still treating us the same way. Yes, we have jobs and we're able to move up, but we're only able to move up as far as they allow us to. And then we're in that system. If we're doing well and we're making good money as diaspora, we're distributing that money back into the Mzungu system, and we don't want to do that. You want to take the money out of that system and bring it to the continent. You want to bring it to people that look like you. You want to enrich the African continent, not the Western countries, and not the European countries. You don't want to enrich them. You want to enrich your people. So that is the mindset. And one more thing, if you decide that you do want to come to visit Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, or if you are interested in repatriating, and of course you have to find out about visas. And I tried to share that on my Facebook. My Facebook is, by the way, Wanda Handford, HANDFORD is my Facebook, and my Instagram is W Handford, my last name, WHANDFORD1. And then this YouTube is Diaspora Connect. So I have the three social medias. Twitter is too much for me. And what's the other one? TikTok, too much for me. I think maybe I'm too old for it, but it's just those two. I don't have those. So maybe I will eventually, but they're just too much for me right now. But yeah, so if you decide to come, it's good to reach out. That's another thing. It's good to reach out to those who are close to your age range. So if you decide that you want to come visit, let me put my glasses on. Shalom, everyone. I will be doing more videos in the future. I'm trying to. Nzuri sana, safi sana. Oh, and so, yes, I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to explain to you from my perspective what we here, how we don't take it for granted. We don't take it lightly that we are able to come to the continent and we're able to visit. We don't take it lightly that we are able to come to the continent and we're able to visit and and make the best of everything. Yeah, so I wanted to tell you, if you decide to come, it's best to do a consult with someone that's actually here, or maybe if they've lived here at least a year or so, it's best to consult with someone like that, because they can give you advice. They can give you sound advice, and make sure that the person is mature, and make sure that the person maybe is closer to your age range. So for me, it would be, I would say 40 and up. You can consult me, because I would have a different outlook or perspective in the country than somebody that's 20 or 30. A lot of the 20 and 30-year-olds, they have a different mindset. So we don't want the whole, excuse me one second, I'm drinking some coffee. That's my cafe latte. So we don't want continental Africans or Tanzanians or anyone to think that we are all the same. We're not all the same. We all think differently. We handle things differently. We deal with business and all that so differently. Like for me, I hear some of the millennials, and I'm feeling the same way as some of the Tanzanians in that they complain about a lot of things. Everything, there's a problem with everything, and then that's because it's the environment that we've been raised in the West, and it's not a good environment. And then a lot of us been mind controlled and brainwashed, so we don't really realize that we're dysfunctional. We're not. We haven't been raised like a lot of the continental Africans. So they're a little bit more grateful, in my opinion. They're grateful for everything, for life, for family. And so we tend to be a little ungrateful in some things, in my opinion. So I have to check myself a lot of times. If something happens and I want to complain, I'll think before I even open my mouth. I'll think to myself, are you being selfish? Is this really necessary that you have you feel like you have a concern or issue about something? And then when I think about it, I'm like, you know what, that's just me. I'm just a little over emotional, or I'm just being a little I don't know, a little ungrateful. So I try not to be that way. So yeah. So, one second. I have every time I do a video, I have people that come around me. They sit and they watch, but it's okay. I'm not really saying anything that's I feel like that's it. I'll do another live in a couple of days, but I just wanted to come to you and give you just my perspective on living here, doing business here. It's been amazing for me, and there have been some doors opening for Diaspora Connect. So I will keep you posted, because what my next project is, I want to do a land project, meaning under the business, I would like to maybe buy land and maybe build like Airbnbs and rental properties. And even, of course, I want to build a house for me and my son under the business. And see, I have two Tanzanian partners, and both of them already have land. So it won't be like I'm doing this amazing thing for me and they're left out. Because anything that I do, they're going to be involved. Anything that, any project. So they may already have land and have a house, but maybe they want another one so they can build one with us. And so they can live with us, because we're still going to need, as diaspora, we're still going to need Tanzanians to live with us, to teach us. We are here to learn from them. We are here to assimilate. So for me, I would say maybe 3 times out of the week, you guys, I am calling my Tanzanian brothers. I have 2, and I'm happy because one of them is always busy. So I have 2, and I'm constantly calling them for help, for stuff, and for ideas and for information. And I'm asking them, do you think we can do this? And can I go here? Or can you do this? So it would be nice if we did a land project that they would live with us. If not both of them, or at least have a place there. If not both of them, at least one of them, so they can be around to be with me. Because I try, it's funny that I've been doing business for, I've been working in Mzungu companies for a long time. And these 2 brothers that I work with, these 2 Tanzanian brothers, this has been the best business relationship I have ever had. And unfortunately, it had to be me with 2 brothers, but I tried to include another diaspora, and it just didn't work out because it was just issues with that person. And I'm like, it's so easy with my brothers. These are my Tanzanian brothers, and it's so easy because they're just so they're just so peaceful, and they're just so simple. Like they understand what I ask, and they just, okay, sister, okay, Dada, okay, Dada. And I'm like, they're just. I just say they're the greatest of all times. I appreciate both of them. And I've met both of them. I met both of them last year, and I've known them for over a year. So I have had time to get to know them, have a relationship with them, and to kind of vet them in that they have integrity and they're good brothers. I'm telling you, these brothers, I can't stop talking great things about them. They take care of me. they advise me. I mean, yeah. So, and they've helped make my business registration a smooth process, because it only took 2 weeks for me to register the business, and mainly because they did most of the stuff. Like I provided, all the paperwork and everything, the finances, and so they they did everything on my behalf. So I do appreciate them, and I think I'm going to end this video because I'll get on the rant. I have written some things down, and I was trying to stick with the things that I write down, and I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to write things down so I won't get off on a tangent, because it's just so many things that I want to say to you and to tell you to help you when you do come to visit. I want to make sure that your visit and that your repatriation is you follow the laws and the rules of the country, and then you seamlessly integrate into the society and assimilate into the society. So for me, and I also want to touch on this last thing. I have heard some of the diaspora say that when they speak English, people are like looking at them, and if you don't talk loudly, it's just a thing in the West that we just talk loudly. And even when Mzungus come here, I noticed that Russians and the Turkish, they talk very loudly. Even the Chinamen, they just talk loudly. So we have to learn with the volume to tone it down. I had to work on that because I have a loud mouth. I laugh loud. I talk loud. I know that. I've come to terms with that. So when I first got here last year, I have been working on my volume and my tone and my volume. I've been working on that because when I get excited, I talk loud. My voice escalates, and then I laugh extremely loud, but I'm getting better. I'm telling you, it's been a year, and I have really changed a lot in my by the way I speak and the volume, because I listen to my surroundings. So I'm around Tanzanians all the time, and I listen to how their volume is, how they talk, how the women talk. They're very gentle, mild, and they don't talk loud. So I'm working on that in me. So we must work on ourselves first before we start criticizing other people, because we don't take into consideration the fact that we talk loud and we just come in the room and we just the loudest one. So we have to work on that. And I am working on that, as well as I am advising others diasporas that when they come, the women especially, volume, tone it down. Okay? So nothing to get offended about. It's just a cultural thing that we just, in the West, we just talk loud. And a lot of us are loud and rude. It is what it is. Okay? Because that's the environment of America, just loud, rude. And we're in that environment, and we tend to pick those things up. But when you're older and more mature, you'll learn for yourself that you'll erase the brainwash, the mind control, peel it back, and then you come to yourself and look within and try to figure out who you are and who you were created to be, and then what is your true nature. Is Africans, or you can call us, like, I don't want to argue with people to keep people. I'm not an African. Okay, whatever you want to call yourself, African, Bantu, Hebrew, Israelite, Negro, whatever you want to call yourself. We have a natural. There are natural things in us that is a part of us, and a lot of times we don't know because we lost a lot of that. But when you come here to the continent, you watch the continental Africans, and you watch the Tanzanians, how they interact with one another, how they have relationships, how they treat their children, how they talk to one another, and how they relate to one another, and they're very loving. And this is a natural instinct, a natural part of who we are. Our spirits are pure. So we just been tainted, and we've been affected by the West. And so we have to retrain ourselves, even at this older age. For me, I say older age, but well, anyway, I don't want to tell my age, but over 40, okay? And so I have to retrain myself in how I act, what's natural for me, what's not natural for me, and what's Mzungu-ish I picked up and what I need to get rid of. So it's like I'm doing every day, I'm just peeling back layers to reveal the truth about who I am and who I was created to be. So that's kind of, I'm going to end this stream now. This has been a long stream, but I'm going to end this, and I'm going to come back to you in a couple of days, and I'll do another video soon. But I just wanted to come to you since it was quiet. It looks like a lot of people are coming out now. So I will talk to you again soon, and I'll do another video, okay? And thank you for all who tuned in, and thank you for your viewership, and thank you for your likes. Please get the likes up. I would really appreciate it, because I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers. I think I'm at like almost 700. So yay! Thank you, everyone. I'm so grateful, and I will see you again. Quiet Eddie. Goodbye.